Titans legit Super Bowl contenders after acquiring Julio?
They were the last 2 years. So now you throw Julio in the mix. Absolutely. Let's start on the defensive side. Last year, they finished ranked 24th on the defensive side. They weren't good. The year before, they were 12th. And they were really good, and they could have been better. So I believe that Vrabel will get that defense back where they need to be. I mean, really, that's their sweet spot. That's his sweet spot as a coach. I mean, he's great at leadership. He does some good things, but this is a defensive guy. On the offensive side, I always say this. This is the formula. This is the recipe. When I was playing ball, I always wanted a top dog running the ball and toting that thing down after down after down. I always wanted a dog on the other side of me. Why? Because it's unstoppable. Now you got AJ Brown on one side. You got Julio Jones on the other. Derrick Henry in the back. Now all they need to know is he is the man, and he is the key to everything. Because if he continues to run the way he's been running the last couple years, now you're talking about 8-man box. The last thing you want to do in the National Football League is be beaten on the ground. You have to win the trenches first. So if he is averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry, you got to put that extra safety in the box. You got to be able to stop him. But now you got one-on-one outside. Who do you double? And when you have AJ Brown, when you have Julio Jones, you have to slide that safety some side of the field. You have to tilt it. You can't do that. So all Tannehill have to do is drop back. Where's the safety? Oh, you want to double Julio this play? AJ Brown, let's go to work. We got our 18-yard comebacks. We got our 18-yard stops. We got our 9-yard stop route, slant, out route, whatever you want, go ball, back shoulder. And then it's Julio. It's simple. This is what we did in New York when I had Eric Decker. This is what we did in Chicago when I had Alshon Jeffrey. And all of our quarterbacks, Pro Bowl years, all of our offense, top 5. This is scary for the NFL. Julio Jones, I don't know where he's at. You know, he's usually a quiet person in the offseason, so I don't know where he's at health-wise and what he has left in the tank. But if he's anything close to the Julio Jones we've been seeing the last 10 years, it's going to be scary, Nick.
So I think there is a little question over what Julio Jones the Titans are getting, because that's why he only went for a second-round pick. The question is he the guy last year that only played half the season, or the guy he'd been every other year of his career, where he's one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in football? And last week when we talked about Julio, I said I thought the Titans would end up getting him, and I think this is a good deal for them. They have the best running back in football. I think AJ Brown is one of the most underrated receivers in the league, and if Julio's healthy, they will have the best wide receiver duo in football, arguably. With that said, Brandon, I think we might be overrating the move a bit. So just follow me here. Prior to this move, I think most people would say the 4 best teams in the AFC, we don't have to argue about the order, but at least Vegas would say this, and I think you would too.
Right.
Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cleveland. Those 4. Let's now include Tennessee in that. It's 5 teams. Of those 5 teams, last year, the worst defense of the 5, Tennessee. The worst quarterback of the 5, I would argue Tennessee. Mahomes, better than Tannehill.
You love
Lamar,
Baker.
better
You love
than Tannehill.
Baker.
Okay, all right, but that's fine. But Brandon, even if you think Baker, the Tannehill's better than Baker, he's only 4th. Even you would only have him 4th. You wouldn't have him better than Josh Allen, Lamar, or Mahomes. No question about it. And I also like Vrabel, but I also think coach of the 5, the worst one is Vrabel. Still might be a very good coach.
Really?
It's not
No
Andy
way.
Reid, not John Harbaugh. Well, so Stefanski did a brilliant job. You love McDermott, Harbaugh, and Andy Reid. Those are some of the best coaches in football.
Right.
So the point I'm making is I do like the weapons they have. But if you look at them measured up against the other contenders, Tennessee has the worst or the second worst defense, the worst or the second worst quarterback, and the worst or the second worst coach, even if the coach and quarterback are good compared to the whole league average, it's tough to be a Super Bowl contender if you're the 5th best team in the conference. I think they're the 5th best team in the conference.
Defensively, you don't need a top 5 defense when you have that type of firepower on offense. So I get what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense to me. But defensively, they will be better. What they showed last night, that secondary, that was a high school secondary they rolled out there on that field every single Sunday. They have to be better. Vrabel is working day in and day out to fix that situation over there. Offensively, you talk about Tannehill. Tannehill, I'm telling you, Nick, he's going to have a big year. He's not going to go out there and throw for 5,000 yards. Not what he's going to do. They're going to lean on that run game. Their offensive line is still a top offensive line. And then you have
maybe the best.
Your guys outside. This is simple football. This is play action. 8-man box. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's go one-on-one outside. It's easy. He's going to go to the line of scrimmage, Wilds, with 2 plays. If it's 8 men in a box, all right, we're going to throw it outside. Single man, single high beaters. We're going to have comebacks. We're going to have 8-yard, 9-yard stops. That's what we're going to do, back shoulders and goes. If it's 7-man box, if it's favorable, hand it off to our big dog in the back. That's how simple this offense is going to be. He just has to read the box. That's it. That's easy football. This is high school football for Tannehill.
Okay, I think the Titans are going to be pretty good. And I'm about to do right now a little home run derby, like comes early. Old Kevin Wildes is on the mound, and Nick Wright is at bat. Here we go. Here comes the windup. Hey, Nicholas, I saw this tweet this weekend. Yeah. I wanted to serve it up to you. Take a look. I see a lot of people are taking shots at Ryan Tannehill right now after the Julio trade. Tannehill equals Mahomes, numbers-wise at least. Yeah, actually better. One of the most underrated players in the entire NFL. Meanwhile, Christ. Mahomes gets everyone's attention, including yours. Nick, I think Dove Kleiman here makes a good point. What do you think? Watch out, everybody.
Run Derby.
I think Twitter found the next person that they should ban. I think this isn't quite calling for an insurrection, but it's right beneath it as far as just rip his account away.
Right.
Like, can you put that tweet up again? Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? A guy with the old check mark and NFL in his handle put out there? How good is Tannehill?
You're a numbers guy.
I see the numbers. Quarterback rating higher, more touchdowns, higher completion percentage. That, my friends, Wilds, do you know what that is? That is the scourge that has infected my beloved NBA, starting delicately trying to get into my beloved NFL, which is, hey guys, why even watch the games? Let's just look at the numbers. And the numbers tell us Ryan Tannehill and Patrick Mahomes, basically the same guy. I got another number for you, buddy. 534. 534. That is the total number of passing yards Ryan Tannehill has in 4 career playoff games. So 534 divided by 4, Jenna, what is that? 133 and a half. So he gives you a nice, cool, crisp 133 yards per game in the playoffs. Give me a break.
Derrick Henry.
Listen.
Yeah, but now he's got Julio.
Now, listen. By the
no,
way,
it's not
I
going to
don't
change.
think Tannehill's bad.
It's not going to be a big difference.
I don't think Tannehill's bad. I think Tannehill was held down by Adam Gase. I'm not trying to take shots at Ryan Tannehill, but the numbers are a little inflated in the regular season because of Brandon's point that every defense prior has only been worried about stopping Derrick Henry. Now they've got, listen, I think they'll have a dynamic offense. I just think the AFC might be a little too top-heavy for him, Jenna.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.